Hey, how's it going, guys? We're just going to start right off and go ahead and take a look at the radar. There's quite a bit of storms in the area this evening. Right in the middle of downtown, there is a thunderstorm that is in the process of doing some strengthening. It is this storm here, and it's moving off to the northeast. Alright, somehow I just dropped off. So, anyway, long story short, there is going to be rain. I don't know how long I will be out tonight. It just really depends on, what's happening in the city tonight, and how much is actually happening. I'm on my way. I'm going to have a co-pilot tonight to help with chat, and apparently we're dropping packets like crazy for some reason, and I'm not sure why. So yeah, I'm gonna have a co-pilot with me tonight. Actually on my way to pick him up now, so I figured I'd go ahead and kick on the stream. Yeah, we'll see what's happening in the city. Not a whole lot happening in the city right now, other than rain. Like I said, the rain and this usually kind of starts to quiet things down, other than car accidents. It really dies down when it's raining outside. So we'll see what's happening tonight before we really make a decision on how long we're gonna stay out here. If it's if there's just nothing going on and I'm just riding around bumping my gums, then we're gonna call it a night and wait for another day. Hope everybody's having a good night. I hope everybody is staying dry and staying warm. It's actually kind of cold. It's in the 50s. What in the world is happening here? I am dropping packets like crazy. What in the world's happening? Alright, well, I guess that was temporary. Alright, well, anyway, hope everybody's having a good night. Hope everybody's staying warm and dry, because it is chilly out here. I've got my jacket on again already. I thought we were done with this. I have my jacket on. I'd actually had it put up. I didn't think I was going to be wearing it again this year until, wintertime, fall time. But here we are. It's Texas. What are you going to do about it, Actually, you know what? Let me get radios turned on yet. What am I doing? I don't even have the radios turned on yet. Is it gonna turn on? Man, I've been having all kinds of issues with my equipment here lately. Okay, what's happening?
Okay, guys, we gotta put our trip.
Okay, I'm I don't know what's happening here. the radio gonna work? Guys, we may be without a radio tonight. Let's see. There we go.
No.
Okay, that's the radio. Okay. Alright. We got it. We got it. Oh man, I'll tell you what, it has been a long couple of weeks. I have not had a day off, and it's been a very long time. So I am going to be making it a point to take tomorrow off and spend with my children. My little boy joins me in the chat in the evening, so I've got to keep everything PG, but tell Joe I'm on. I've had so much issues with equipment lately. My live view pack broke. Now we got Starlink coming on board that I'm having trouble getting it delivered. It's just taking forever. And I had a computer break on me this last week. Either equipment is not made like it used to be, or I am extremely hard on equipment. And the computer is literally attached to my dash, so it wasn't even being moved.
Just for you guys, 43, we are in the alley just ahead of the fire department, or the fire department's cars. It's the Riley building garage.
Austin. Hey, Chris Cooper. Yeah, Austin is a great little city. I'm telling you right now, it is. Holy moly, man. There is car wrecks all over the city right now. Good Lord. There is a car wreck on Turnersville, wherever that's at. Powell Lane. 71, 2 on 71. There's a grass fire in the middle of a storm and a trash fire at Congress Avenue.
71 and Ross Road.
Hey Chris, thanks for being on. Yeah, Austin's a cool little city, man. I love it. Been here a very long time, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. We're stuck in traffic right now. I'm trying to get into town. Yeah, it gets a little. Yeah, people drive like idiots normally, so it's not surprising there's wrecks everywhere. But I usually don't start. I don't start streaming when I'm just sitting on the highway in traffic. But I don't know how long I'm going to be out tonight, so I figured I'd go ahead and just start. Or I don't like to start and just sit in traffic. I mean, who wants to just sit and watch traffic? You got any? I've got that. My little boy was listening to the duck song. You know that song? It's the duck walked up to the lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "But up, you got any grapes?" And now that stupid song's stuck in my head. You got any grapes? Ba-da-da-da. Well, the duck walked up to the lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand, "But up, you got any grapes?"
3 Baker 16, 3 Baker 12, en route to an alarm in Baker 10, 15400 Long Vista Drive, apartment 101 for the Reynolds, Austin.
Because the surgeon that I'm on is going to be related to the triple surgeon. Or include a logo. sorry for any turn known.
Nope, they don't care.
For them.
It's crazy, but they don't.
Charlie 3.
Good.
I'll go check North River. There was a lot of transient thing out there.
Quick.
Yeah, Rudy's. Rudy's is, you know what, Rudy's, I don't know. Some people don't like Rudy's, but I love Rudy's. Rudy's barbecue is pretty good stuff. They have some of the best tacos, the breakfast tacos.
Covered area.
And it seems like there's a Rudy's everywhere you go in this city. There's a Rudy's somewhere. Yeah, I know some of the Rudy's, you know, are like gas stations, but it's not gas station food. You know, it's good food. I love their barbecue.
I got a 28 foot trailer. Good.
Oh man, their breakfast. Oh, their breakfast tacos are amazing.
618.
John Galt, I am headed to, right now I'm headed over to pick up my co-pilot for the evening. I got a guy that's going to ride with me tonight. We're over on Lamar.
The center and right lane currently blocked off. A lot of traffic building up behind us.
Right now there's really nothing happening but just a shit ton of car accidents at the moment.
I'm good here.
But of course, here, we'll take a look. Let me show you guys a little bit of what's happening with the weather.
Michigan, Robert Charles 349.
So there's literally right in downtown Austin, you know, there's you have these storms, and these storms here are moving off to the northeast. So and there's going to be more coming tonight. A lot more coming tonight.
704.
704.
Courtesy transport to Delphi.
Man, now I'm craving those dang breakfast tacos.
45 and 1826 units to check by.
Man, that sounds so good. My wife made cheesesteaks for supper, and I'm going to eat when I get home.
We'll try to get some further details in a second.
And she really did a good job this time. She actually took and sliced the steak up into little thin slices. Very proud of her. It's good stuff. It's great to have a wife that loves to cook, because I can't cook anything.
It's kind of big right now. She just says black
I
male,
cannot cook
20 to 30
anything.
years old. Yeah.
We're in the city of the worst homeless camps. Definitely in the south of 71. Basically anywhere from 71 or Ben White and Mopac all the way to the southeast. I mean, you can basically find them all the way down Ben White, all the way out to the airport. And then from, you know, the south, so down 35, down Mopac, that area, I mean, it's horrible. The videos that I just put out the last couple of days, I shot those yesterday at the, there's a huge camp, biggest camp in the city. It's just to the west of Riverside on Ben White. Your husband's the cook in the home. Well, see, I love food. I'm a huge food lover, and I wished I could cook better, but it's kind of a shame how I cook.
409, go ahead.
I mean, you're talking to somebody that could mess up scrambled eggs. That's hard to do. But even when I do cook, my wife and my kids, they say it's good just to be nice. I love them. So yeah, John, South Austin, Southeast Austin. The body that was found yesterday evening, they called it a greenbelt area, but it really wasn't a greenbelt area. That was a huge homeless camp where they found that body. That body was extremely decomposed, so it had been there a while. They are actually working it as a homicide right now. So, sounds like it's a legit homicide. The homicide detectives were out there pretty much all day today.
Just confirming 918 Auto.
Now, if it was a homeless guy, I don't know. I mean, I would almost bet it probably was, but I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody was killed and then dumped out there. You know, who knows?
Validate that address. I don't think there's a 900 block of
And the sad thing about it is with all the homeless camps in that area, the smell of the homeless camp are outrageous. So, I mean, the people living in that area could literally write the smell of that body off to the homeless camps.
You know what they were trying to get into again?
It's a shame, but that's just the way it is.
The city barricades, and they couldn't navigate over here.
Oh man, don't start yawning, Jamie.
Figure 14, checking status.
So I got the mounts built for the Starlink dish that's going to go on the top. Should have that Starlink dish in the hopefully within the next week. And then we're switching from the live pack to the Starlink pack. Very, very excited. That dish is going to mount to the rack just right on top. And it lays kind of flat. Actually, it's kind of up at an angle. So it's angled. It's flat, but it's angled like up in the back. So it's kind of facing forward that way for aerodynamics.
Disregard that alert.
But we have the Starlink High Performance Mobile. So this dish and the service is specifically built for us to be driving around like this.
One does exist in San Antonio.
And it is high speed, low latency, which is exactly what you need for streaming. Very low latency.
In front of the PD. Got the minor garage entrance. If you have anybody call about that.
Clear.
Hey man, hey Joe, how are you doing?
13 Sunset Valley 4. The subject's heading back to Sephora and still has the frequencies in our bag.
We're about to pick up our co-pilot. Our co-pilot tonight is a comedian. He's a funny guy, so... Oh, I mean, I'm not just saying like he's a funny guy. No, he's a legitimate comedian, so hopefully we're going to have a good time in here tonight. Air Crash Info is my... is my other account. That's my son Joseph on chat in my other account. So be nice, Joseph.
Still working on getting Mom back on the phone. Good. Project Gonzalez, George Ocean, Nora, Zebra, Adam Lincoln, Edward, Sam, Joseph, Donald, Melling, 6/18/1967 right now.
Did y'all see that car cut in front of me just then? That's how wrecks happen.
She needs assistance getting out of the vehicle. We're going to get the doors open on the driver's side.
Alright, we are going to do something we shouldn't and cut through a parking lot.
5 North Lamar. Building 2.
So I'm picking up my co-pilot at a McDonald's on Lamar, and he was just telling me a minute ago that the cops ran in there looking for somebody running around bleeding.
George, Lieutenant, clear your last officer.
And he said to the man running the stand, "You got any grapes?" I said, "Man, get out of here. We've only got lemonade. Why don't you try some? Why don't you give it a go? How about no?" Joe, you know what song I'm singing. We were just listening to it before I left the house.
Go ahead.
The 917, according to Google, was put near the unknown intersection of Prado and Ramos Street.
Ooh, big old puddle. Yeah, the duck song. That's one of our favorites. We love singing the duck song, and now it's stuck in my head. Hear it with me. But if I sing it too long, the algorithm's gonna pick it up, and I'll get a strike. I know that sounds ridiculous.
Valley 13, Sunset Valley 4, checking status. Sunset Valley 4, still checking. Staff 4.
This is Lamar. This is North Lamar. One in custody. Somebody's going to jail.
She left the car while she was shopping?
Yeah, that's what the context is saying.
I keep cutting out. I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. As I'm running through a red light. Am I still cutting out? Joey? I don't look like I'm dropping any frames right now. I mean, I'm running at 2,096 kilobits per second. 23.98 frames per second. I've only dropped 296 frames.
2817 Prado Street.
Yeah, some areas of the city I get in and it'll start dropping. As soon as we get Starlink on the car, as soon as we get, and you're gonna help me put the dish on here, as soon as we get Starlink on board, that's gonna be a thing of the past. There's gonna be no more frame dropping.
380 to 311. Can you put the victim's phone number in there? Maybe the suspect dropped it. We can call and try to find it.
Yeah, 480p, man. It's my internet. There's not much I can do about it right now.
Can you put the victim's phone
Wait till we
number
get
in the
Starlink on board. It'll be good. We'll be running at 1080.
Yeah, Franco's gonna do that. 58540.
If I put the resolution, if I broadcast at higher resolution, I've even tried 720 and it still craps out on me.
Personal bond, no contact except through attorney or court-appointed person.
I just do not have a strong enough internet connection right now. But we're gonna get there. We got Starlink coming. We're gonna get there.
Robert, Tom, John, 9625.
Let me tell you something about Starlink. The dish and the Gen 3 router, $3,031. $3,030 just for the equipment. That's not the monthly service, man. Yeah, Starlink is very pricey. Chris, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, Austin is so how long's it been since you've lived here? Because Austin, just in the last 10 years, has changed. It's night and day different. The skyline, it's different. I actually, I made a post on X or Twitter where I showed a picture from 10 years ago and a picture from today, put one on top of each other, of the skyline, and even Elon Musk replied to it, which I thought was pretty cool. That was the very first time he's ever replied to any of my posts. And let me tell you, when Elon Musk replies to a post, your engagement double. I mean, it's like 1,000% higher in one night, literally. Just because he responded onto one of my posts, my engagement jumped by like 1,000%. Moved away a year ago. Yeah, so you know it's how it is here. I mean, you've been here since it's grown a lot. kind of cool to have Elon Musk on your timeline. I mean, honestly, it is kind of awesome.
Then another one now.
I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan, but you know,
Same here, Harley.
it is pretty cool. The man's makes the news. Let's put it that way.
At her, something's gonna be a white female lecture.
Hope to get back. Had to move for work. Yeah. Well, come back. Austin's a cool little town. I know you love it here. I'm from North Texas. I'm from up north of Dallas. Yeah, massive change. Yeah, most of them are good. The homelessness issue is something that we are working with right now. We're trying to get as many people out of homelessness as we can. And it's hard. It's not easy. It is not easy. There are so many people on the street here that need help. And at a certain point, it's just kind of like, how do you... I mean, it's so overwhelming. There's so many people that need help. And the problem is there's so many nonprofits in this city that are funded to do this job, but it's like they're just not getting the job done. And I don't understand it. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Elongated. Hey, that's that's exactly what he does too. He gets you elongated. That made me laugh. Thanks, man. Elongated.
Not too certain of these notes. They're saying possibly a worker on site.
That's funny.
On site is not answering. And
All right.
also, the fire department
Co-pilot is coming on board.
showing any calls for them. Silver sedan, white sedan, no subject description, no weapons, nothing in hands. Alarm company.
All right, already live.
Saying there's only a guard on site.
After the doctor, well, I texted you my whole day so far. I did go to the doctor. I went to Half Price Books and farted around in there for a while. Came over here and ate lunch. And then I was going to wait outside and it started raining. I was like, well, let's go back in here.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. The storms tonight. It is what it is, though. There's a lot of car accidents.
I was going to say, we got the whole... I'll introduce myself in a moment, listeners. But what got the whole train of thought rolling this morning was, I follow all the music stuff on social media. I don't have time to go to the shows these days. I go online.
Yeah.
And the band Nothing More is playing at Stubbs tonight. Sold it out. Good for them.
Oh, nice.
But they moved the like set times and everything way up. Like the doors opened at 3:30. I think the band started at 4. They're trying to outrun this,
Crazy. Last time I was at Stubbs was in 2015. I saw Saint Asonia and Seether.
Oh, good show.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was another band there that I can't... The band that was before Saint... So it was a new band, Saint Asonia, then Seether. I can't remember what that first band was. They were really good, but Saint Asonia was damn good.
But that's the singer I like from 3 Days Grace.
Yeah, we met him that night. It was actually, because Stubbs is kind of, it's not huge.
It's either a large club or a small arena. It's one of the,
We were right up front, man, and Dan's birthday. Hey, Chris, I've got a meeting at Dan's on Wednesday this coming week. I'm really looking forward to it because they have some awesome food. Yeah, they that night. So Saint Asonia played. They were loud, but I didn't need earplugs, and we were like on the barrier at the stage. But when Seether started, I had to put earplugs in. It was that loud. Like, it was so loud that it hurt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun though. But once you get the earplugs in, you could hear it a lot better. I know that sounds stupid, but
it does not. To this day, the loudest band I ever saw live was White Zombie. They were so loud you couldn't tell what song was what. It was wah!
Yeah.
I definitely damaged my hearing.
The loudest band I've ever heard was Metallica, and that was in 1999 or 2000 at Texas Stadium up in Dallas. It was their summer
The
sanitarium
one with Korn and
tour.
Kid Kid Rock?
Yep,
I
that
was
was it.
there. The one with everyone sang because James got
Yeah,
hurt?
do you remember where they threw in the very beginning? They were throwing all the seat cushions.
Yeah, oh,
And
yes, I remember.
And they came out and was like, "Hey, man, if y'all want us to play, y'all got to cut this shit out. We got to pay for this stuff." Yeah, man, we were on the floor in front of the stage, and you could look up, and just all you saw was like seat cushions flying everywhere.
No, I was married at the time and went with my wife, and we shelled out the big bucks for the floor seats. And I think they
Yeah,
were like
we were on the floor, too.
$75 or something.
Yeah.
And
We were on the floor,
here's
too.
my memories of it. I completely missed System of a Down because we were waiting in line.
Yeah.
You know, they started playing while half the crowd was good.
Yeah.
Kid Rock was one surprise. I really didn't like Kid Rock
Korn was
before I
awesome,
saw him that day. Korn was great, and then everyone was wasted by the time Metallica. It was really when Metallica came on, and if you're not a music nerd like us, James Hetfield got hurt. What was it? Jet skiing with
Yeah,
Kid Rock,
hurt his back.
which was like the best way to get hurt. And so while he was in the hospital, the singers of the other bands filled in, and I believe it was Surge from System of a Down did all the Ride the Lightning songs. Jonathan Davis did all the Injustice for All songs. Jason did the Master of Puppets songs, and Kid Rock did all the Black Album songs. But it was when that was happening, yeah, chaos erupted in that
It was
place.
a lot of fun.
The building totally got trashed.
I remember the speech that Jason Newsted gave when they were talking about how they were gonna, like, when they came on stage, because they were late coming out. Remember
Yes.
how it took them forever to get out there, and then Jason Newsted was talking about he did this speech where he was like, I get to do something tonight I've always dreamed about, and that's fronting Metallica. And it was a lot of fun.
And the sad part after is that ended up being one of his last shows with Metallica. I think there was only like 5 or 6 more after that.
Did you go to the? Because they came back.
You know, I
and
didn't
did the
go-
makeup shows.
We
You
kept
had your
our ticket stubs and all that. I still have that ticket stub, but
I
no,
went
we
to
missed the makeup
show with James, and it was a lot of fun. It was in a different venue. I can't remember the venue's name now.
I'm
But
guessing the Starplex. Yeah.
No, it was the vodka one.
The Smirnoff.
Smirnoff.
Yeah.
That's where it was at. It was in the Smirnoff. We got to turn.
So yeah, while we're at the red light, I am Brian Cook. For all the big tech, big heads in California, I am a comedian. I perform around town here in Austin, Texas, which is Moon Tower Comedy Festival weekend, by the way. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
And so I've been hobnobbing with some big wigs, not really, but people who are further up the ladder than me, right? And here's my interesting fact of the week. They say that Austin is now the #1 comedy scene in America, that it operates the way New York City does, but it's apparently harder to get on here than there. Because we're centrally located, we're getting people from east and west, where, if you live in Henderson, Nevada, you're probably not moving to New York City. You're going
There's
to LA.
right where I just came from, there's a really bad accident.
Listen to it. Bust a UE and head on back.
At Lamar and 183. I was just at that
Just up. That's
intersection.
a mile and a half away from us.
It was at 611, 621. So it
There's
had
the Wheatsville Co-op. You can turn around in there.
I mean, there's really no place to park and watch that. We're gonna head in.
Oh, okay. On to the next adventure.
Yeah, we're gonna go to South Austin tonight. Last night I was all over the place, north to south to in between, and it just didn't work out. I would get down here in the south, and then something would happen up north, and then like an idiot I would take off to that, and then by the time I got there it was over. It just didn't work. So we're gonna pick a spot and stay there tonight.
Oh, I was kind of thinking putting my network TV executive hat on, and I guess TV is the magic word there. I was thinking about, especially Austin After Dark. Welcome to Austin After Dark. That it's kind of, to me, my ad pitch would be it's cops mixed with. Oh, I thought we were listening for something. No. That. Oh, yeah. No, I totally approve. That's what I'm talking about. We're live in Austin, Texas. But,
when I very first moved to this city, one of the very first things that I saw was right here on the drag. And for those that don't know, we're on the drag right now. We're on West Campus. One of the very first things that I saw in this city was a lady jogging topless down the street here. And you're talking like I'm this little country boy from North Texas that grew up on a farm, and then you come into the city like this and see a lady jogging topless. I was so shocked. But that was like my first introduction to what Austin really is. And
Yeah, what it really is.
it was right there here. No, wait, where's that, the diner, Kirby Lane? Is that back there a little ways?
Yeah, I think it's.
That's where it was
Yeah,
at
it's
the Kirby
behind us.
Lane Cafe.
By the way, I love Kirby Lane.
Yeah, I do too.
They're not 24-hour anymore, but then again, nothing is.
Legal in Austin, you're right, it is. And I'm telling you, it was such a shock when I saw it. You know, it was like, and then I saw, so Leslie was still around when I got here. I saw him a few times on his bicycle. There was another guy that used to ride through here that he wore a thong.
Yeah, I
and
remember him.
He was on a bicycle all the time in this area.
Yep, I remember Thong Man.
Yeah, that can get you elongated.
Thong Man used to like ride on the feeder road, if I remember correctly. He did on like 35, basically.
I saw him all the time through here.
But yeah, no,
And
he was all. I think he lived around here.
Seeing that guy in a thong, man, just seeing this stuff was such a shock, man. It was such a shock to see that stuff. And Leslie, the trans, whatever he is, homeless guy, that guy, I don't know. It's a shame what happened to him. It shouldn't have happened. But of course, his celebrity was such that he chose to be on the street. Like, that man could have done something with himself if he would have wanted to. But maybe he was happy right where he was at. And more power to him.
Well, you can kind of
Forgot
see
about
it.
Leslie. Yeah, I saw Leslie, like I said, when I very first got here, he actually was killed shortly after I got here, actually, if I remember right. And so I only got to see him a few times. Chicken Man's still around. Let's see, Chicken Man. Chicken Man.
I did have a proof of life of the Running Man. He's moved neighborhoods, but the Running Man's still with us. I thought he might have died.
I'm not sure who is the Chicken Man. Who's the Chicken Man?
I remember there is a Chicken Man, but I don't remember when or where or any of that.
The man in the thong.
Oh, he was 100% real because he used to I'd come out of Waterloo Records and he'd be going down Lamar over there.
This guy, man, I mean, he was not like overweight. I mean, but man, that
No,
thong,
he was making a statement. Yeah, he knew what
he had a hairy ass, and look, when you're not from here and you're not used to that kind of stuff, it's shocking when you see it.
Well, did you ever see the Running Man when he was up on Runberg and Lamar?
No.
Okay, he was this guy who, blah, 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 he's out in the streets, right? And instead of, woe is me, he gets in the medians of these big red lights and the intersections, and he starts rapping to the cars, and sometimes he'd be running football drills like he's a receiver.
Did he wear a cowboy hat?
Sometimes. You're talking about the Chicken Man or the Thong Man?
I don't know. Probably the Chicken Man. The chat is about 10 seconds.
Exactly.
It's about 10 seconds behind what we're talking about. It's hard to keep a conversation going that way.
Yeah, it is.
The delay. And then I have another 5-second delay built into it in case I have to dump something.
But the Running Man was a good dude. He was just trying to get you pumped up while you're on the way to work or from work or wherever you were going.
Man, there's so much crazy stuff. People that have gotten kind of famous by their antics in this city.
Yes.
And their craziness. And the thing that I like about Austin is no matter how crazy you are, like those guys, like Leslie, like the dude in the thong and the Chicken Man and the Running Man, they're all accepted, hands down accepted.
Yeah.
And people do not judge, like the guy in the thong with the hairy ass, nobody judged him. And then the women, running topless. I love it. I mean, not because of their topless, but because it's just different. This city is different. You couldn't go to really any other city and get away with that kind of stuff. This city is just different. And that's why I really love this city.
I love Austin too because it's not pretending it's something it's not. Like a lot of other places are.
Yeah. It's just me, or are the homeless super aggressive in Austin? Is it the So, yeah, it is 420. It is 420. I don't smoke, but I used to.
You know whose birthday if you swing that way.
Is it just me, or the homeless super aggressive in Austin? Some of the homeless are aggressive. I think so.
There's aggressive people who aren't homeless, you know?
I spend a lot of time in the homeless camps. I probably spend more time in the homeless camps than some of the homeless people themselves. And I think most of the homeless in the camps anyway, or in the green belts and in the parks, they are actually pretty chill people. I carry a gun everywhere I go in this city, and even in the camps, and I've never come close to even being bothered to even think about that I had a weapon. Now, the homeless in downtown, on the other hand, on the street, they're a little bit different. Now, here's another odd thing about the homeless in this city. It's very segregated. In town, in the city here, you have your blacks and Hispanics. Out in the camps on the outside of the city, in the green belts, it's white people. Now, why that is, I don't know, but it is that way. It's odd, but it's true. The most free will ever be in Austin. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You can get away with damn near anything, especially right now. I mean, the cops are all, they have, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, if you're just doing your things, the cops will mainly leave you alone.
Yeah, no, as someone who grew up in Houston and has a million stories about that, the cops in Austin are not looking to pick fights.
No, they'll leave you alone. If you're just doing your thing and keeping to yourself and you're not bothering other people or hurting other people, they'll leave you alone. Most of the time.
Yeah, there's exceptions, but it's why I never understood all the protests and all that stuff here. Like, these guys are pretty halfway cool, It could be worse. 3 hours away down the highway is worse.
They're going to the encrypted radios on Monday.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
That is a direct result of the riots in 2020.
Yeah, they did use that to their advantage, didn't they?
So I talked to an officer, one of my sources that I work with in the city, and he told me that a lot of when they were responding to the protests or the riots, whatever you want to call them, that the people on the street, the rioters, the protesters, they were listening, and you know what I mean? They were listening to everything that was being said and changing their tactics at the same time. And so they decided then that they were going encrypted.
And the thing that always really bothered me, because we watched out for it when I was in the Army, is I heard a horror story about in Portland that the rioters, and again, I'm not trying to pick sides here, any of that, I'm just talking about what happened. The rioters were using the laser pointers, and a couple of cops got blinded by those things. That's messed up.
Wednesday, where your area, without telling exactly where you live, what area are you in? And you're right, Chris, most of the cops are decent people. There are, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very much in favor of law enforcement, but there are some bad apples in this city, especially here in downtown that are, like let's say the ones that are doing the foot beat down on 6th Street tonight. They intentionally escalate things, and we're trying to get proof of that right now.
Yep.
It happens, and we know the names of them as well. I'm not the only one working on it, but there's definitely some bad apples in the police department, and the other police officers that work with him, they want nothing to do with it, because of course we're in a county that the prosecutor will prosecute a cop for just about anything. So if they get into a situation where they have to use force, and it was because an aggressive cop escalated things, bad stuff. Southwest, yep. What's odd, especially with the homeless community, most people, when I say that, they don't believe me, but it is true. It is very segregated.
it has a prison flavor to it, or smell, you know, of a kind of the similar rules and structure.
Wonder what's happening at the Paramount. Oh, the comedy festival.
Hey, they did. If anyone remembers a show on MTV in the '90s called The State, they did the State reunion last night, and apparently tonight is. Oh, I thought that said Sarah Silverman. It does not. It's
Sarah Sherman. No, I know who Sarah Sherman is. She's a really funny comedian. I'd love to go into Paramount and see a.
Paramount's a nice joint.
Yeah, Chris, they did used to weed them out, and it's become harder. It's really become harder for them to do that. With the climate that we have in the city right now, the police, a lot of the times, their hands are tied. I mean, they don't really have a lot of recourse or any help.
No.
They do not get any support from City Hall, and there is a huge rift between the brass, the leadership, and the rank and file. Hey Peter, what's up, man? A lot of accidents right now. A lot of car accidents. It's raining, so there's probably not going to be a whole lot happening. There's actually a car in the middle of the intersection about to have a wreck right now. He's blocking the road.
Blocking the road again.
Not much happening at the moment. Of course, I'm not really listening either. I'm just bumping my gums.
10-4, I can go with it over the air.
I'm thinking about supper and what I have waiting on me on the stove.
I get 1028.
Go ahead.
King Victor Lincoln 6227.
Trying to cut down.
Oh, yes, I'm horribly, desperately trying to cut down.
I mean on this, I'm trying,
Yeah, oh yeah, I know, I'm in the same boat with you. I got, what is this?
Voodoo Bar.
No, but Ice Mocha coffee. Because it's, man, I'm not 22 years old. I don't need banana ice remix and all that crazy crap.
This one's Mike Tyson's. It's an apple melon berry.
7200 blocks on Chase Parkway. Vehicle's going to be a red Toyota Coupe.
Tastes good.
Last seen approaching sparkling light, displaying Texas license plate, Victor Frank Lincoln 5486. Like advising the subject vehicle is speeding through.
I will be more chatty in a second. I'm inviting our internet friends to join the show.
3 Charlie 43, you're on that driver.
From New York.
This is not good. Going. A lot of people crossing the street.
BQ 19 to BQ 8, what's up?
We're on 7th? Yes.
That's the McCoy's parking lot. Just need a 75. I'll go for
Up here, and I'll give you all the full comedy update later on, but I had a horrible show at the Creek and the Cave the other night. We're about to pass by it, returning to the scene of the crime where I died.
Baker 442, log 27.
Boy, you're getting a little close there, sister.
4615331.
Let's see.
So,
I wonder how busy 6th is going to be tonight since it's raining. Probably not very busy.
I don't know. Like I said, they moved the show as Stubbs up to start like early in the afternoon. So,
well, a lot of Stubbs, the theater outside is open.
Yeah, that's where it is.
0430,
Except for that, like right in front of the stage where that white, whatever that canopy thing is that hangs over the stage.
Because on a normal, any given night, the rules in Austin are outdoor shows have to end at 11 p.m., indoor shows have to end at 2 p.m. Those are the noise laws, right? So if they start at 3, I'm guessing they're probably going to want to wrap it up about 9. That'd be my guess.
Well,
Hello,
I can tell you,
Stubbs.
we left. Cedar had about 3, probably I would imagine about 3 songs left, and we left. We were parked right back over there, and we got back out in front of the Salvation Army building, and you couldn't even hear them anymore.
Yeah.
Even though, like, inside there it was so loud you needed earplugs.
And somebody is at the Empire Control Room tonight. Don't know who, but they got a very nice van parked out front.
And has a stick. So 16-year-old, nothing dad is yelling, you can't come inside.
Uh-oh.
And 12-3 authorized.
See, this is when it sucks to be homeless out here.
Yeah.
When I was homeless, so for
You
those
have
that
some
don't
echo?
know, yeah, he's that Wednesday. It's the guy that you tagged, Blast Beat. The guy that you tagged in that message the other day.
That is me. Hello.
So for those that don't know, I was homeless here in Austin a long time ago. I was homeless for about 6 months, and I stayed here in downtown. And when it would rain, it sucked so bad because there's literally nowhere to go. And back then, it wasn't as accepted as it is now. And we would go into a parking garage and get ran off by security. They didn't give a shit that it was raining outside. And all we were doing was standing under the, standing on the porch to stay warm. It's crazy, man.
Suspicious circumstance, 1401 Grand Avenue Parkway, 1401 Grand Avenue Parkway at the Valero. Caller's going to be wearing a green jacket and on a bike. They're refusing to give any info, claims that people are chasing him. Say this happens all the time when he leaves the apartments off 500 Grand Avenue.
Did they say somebody's chasing him?
No, he said someone's chasing him, which sounds like a good old-fashioned meth freak out. Somebody stay up a little too late. They're after me every time I leave my apartment.
Locked in by somebody.
When I was out streaming earlier
of the subject vehicle, attempting to get further.
over at Grove in that area, Grove and Riverside, the cops were chasing a guy down, and he actually ran off and drove through the soccer fields. It's back over there. He drove through a playground, the soccer fields.
Drove through it?
Yeah. And they were chasing him out. They were trying to spike him as he was coming out of the park. There's a park over there. They were throwing spikes at him as he was coming out and missed it. Well, anyway, they finally caught him in a apartment complex and apparently kind of roughed him up because they had to call an ambulance for him.
We're on 21 with the complainant. Everything here at the house is exactly the same as it was. Apparently, the mother is the only one that can drive the handicapped-able van.
I think you were 1 in a million. You wanted better.
There's nobody here, and we have no current location of where they're at.
But while we're at this red light, let me tell everyone, I've got a big show coming up at the Flamingo Cantina on 6th Street on April the 30th. 10-minute set with an interview after, and I am looking forward to it, and I encourage you to come out.
That license plate on. See if it has any reason.
Thanks, Wednesday. I appreciate that. I worked really hard to get off the streets. It wasn't easy. I went down to the Home Depot on the corner of Woodward and 35 and get out there. I would leave as soon as the first bus would run through. I slept at the there's a church right there, right next door to the Capitol, right to the west of the Capitol. And I would catch the bus out in that area and come down here every morning. Would get out here to Woodward and 35 by around 6:30. Pick up day jobs with the contractors that would come through there. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, that's some of the hardest grunt work I've ever done in my life. But you can make money doing it. You can make anywhere $100, $150 a day.
1257.
With lunch. Sometimes a beer, but you know. Well, thank you, Wednesday. I appreciate it. It wasn't easy. But it just kind of goes to show you that if you wanted to be off, a lot of these folks, if they wanted to be off the street, they could get off the street. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work, but you can do it. There's ways to do it. And especially with as much help as there is nowadays, you could really get off the streets if you wanted off. I don't understand why people don't take advantage of it. Living on the streets just flat out sucks, man. I mean, sleeping on the concrete and having people walk by you and look at you like you're a bug, it just, I don't know. Now if I could just look like that,
yeah,
I'd be ready to go. All right, guys, that's the look I'm going for right there. Without the man bun.
Or the bike shorts.
Or the bike shorts. I don't know. If I look like that, I might wear bike shorts too.
I heard someone, I think Jimmy Kimmel, somebody once upon a time tell a joke about Scott Weiland at Stone Temple Pilots where he would never play a concert with a shirt on. And it's like, well, if I did all the Pilates and everything to look like that, I'd never wear a shirt either.
That man died a bad death.
Yeah,
The dope.
died in the back of a tour bus.
That guy pickled himself, man. Can you imagine what his insides look like? With all the drugs that he did?
Well, I've learned that, like, it's pretty much any drug. It's the way, you know, like, the blood system's filtered. But, like, those people's livers and kidneys just look like World War III, you know?
It's bad, man. But you start getting famous, pocket full of money. People will give you whatever you want just to keep you going. It doesn't surprise me that most of them fall into that trap. There's a, you know, that fine line between you controlling the drugs and the drugs controlling you.
Following the additional caller, we are attempting callback. We just now got a call taker
I
available.
don't know, man.
Well, in the, you know, the movie of the week stuff about having problems with drugs, you know, as long as you have money, like, if you don't have the problems yet. The problems start when you run out of money, you know?
Yep, and for 99% of the country, that happens pretty quickly.
It happens pretty quickly. But man, is it a fun 6 months.
Yeah, I did not hurt you. Listen to me.
It's a bad ride down, though.
Okay, your parlor. I'll see what I can
It
do.
is a hard fall. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like drugs? They make you forget your problems. I mean, but they just create so many more in the process of you forgetting the other ones. Not gonna lie, I enjoy it. That's probably why it's a bad thing.
Well, the enabling thing is real. Because if any of y'all have seen a movie called,
What's your location?
it's like Crazy Love Hope or something, but it's the story of the guitar player in Korn, Brian Welch, and him getting sober and getting born again. And Korn was one of those bands that when they crawled out from being a club band and became an arena band and got famous, they went Ozzy Osbourne level crazy. You know, women, cars, drugs, whole
The
9
dude
yards.
smoked himself to Jesus. Like,
Yep.
literally smoked himself into Jesus.
Yes.
Like,
But-
literally, he looked like it.
But he makes the point of it was really their third record when they became the kind of band that could sell out the Frank Irwin Center that, like, all of a sudden all these coke dealers just came out of the woodwork for us when they knew we had basically unlimited money. And they're a bunch of vultures. Bunch of people just waiting on him, you know?
He turned into, and he's still apparently very religious. But
Yeah, no, he's
he
devout.
was-
He's been doing that thing for a long time now.
For a long time, he swore that he would never go back to Korn because of the problems, but he did.
And a big part of that's kind of the ending of the movie, the happy ending, is what brought them all back together. Is the other guys in Korn independently kind of did the same thing. And so we all went to rehab. We all started going to church. We all started doing the family life. And
The thing is you never see an old junkie. You can never go the distance. You either die, end up in jail, or get sober.
yep.
One of the two.
And there's also the thing of when you're a successful anything in life, you would prefer to stay there, right? For example, I will be making a road trip to the Woodlands Pavilion in October to go see Korn, Gojira, and Spirit Box at the Woodlands Pavilion. They wouldn't still be playing an 18,000 seat arena if they were, you know, living the gutter life. The two go hand in hand. But you got to have the discipline for it because trouble's always around the corner. For them, for you, for me, for everybody.
So Charlie standing route for that, and that was the address in our home.
There is relatively not much traffic on 35 right now.
Everybody's staying home.
Service was on March of last year.
I gotta listen and figure out what's happening in the city.
Drysdale.
I don't want to get up there because people drive like shit.
They're
Oh,
not able
yeah.
to get a vehicle description. They're not answering 911. They're all getting for that said listening to the podcast. The mail is stating that if they're in the parking.
No, the situation with the police really has me concerned because that's a permanent state of affairs over there in the east side where I work. They never have more than about 5 cops on a shift on any given day at any given time.
Yep.
Copy.
That's
Can you
crazy.
show us out room 28, just for 43? Nixon said he went code 4, but it's just because a patient in room 28 is trying to leave. 10-4.
13, that was not a good address. Is it 413 maybe?
So yeah, I'm keeping my eyes open because the likelihood of us seeing something before a 911 call comes in is high.
Possibly. There's not going to be a whole lot happening tonight because of the rain. People are staying in. The riffraff.
Yeah. Riding out the storm in the game room.
Until you get slapped in the face with a machete.
3 Baker 10, are you clear on the high hit?
Hey, I still think most people don't know about the dangers of the game rooms. That's still a pretty underground phenomenon, and pillars of power and institutes of social authority. You should take a good, long, hard look at these places.
1360. 343 on 1023 in that area, and the staff member has departed campus. 7-4.
Looks like the rain may be coming to an end.
Yeah, up in the old Metroplex up there, they're getting shellacked right now.
Yeah, my mom's up there. That's where I'm from, right there. Right there.
You kidding?
Melissa. Yep. Big old Melissa.
Once dated a girl from Bedford. Didn't that end up that way?
It's over here. Somewhere out
Yeah, somewhere
in this area.
somewhere in that.
David 406 advising crash
from
500
here.
West Bend White at Austin Habitat for Humanity.
There's a feral child from the Sam Houston National Forest. No, that's not what happened.
We're almost out of the rain.
7.
I tell you, hey, good job. Because that was today, right? Or yesterday you went to the Ben White, down by the airport kind of camp? Or Ben White and Riverside?
Yeah. Right down that way.
That's some gnarly you-know-what, isn't it?
Yeah, I've still got a ton more video to put up, too, that I haven't put up yet.
Because that's the one, that one in the 71-183. When I worked at a certain unnamed delivery company last year, I would pass by those every day on the way to and from work, and it was always an adventure over there.
Yeah, that camp was, I was always told in the homeless community that camp was very violent, and we went in, it was like, screw it, I've been trying to find a way to get into that one for a long time. Could never find a way. Like somebody, what I mean is we find somebody that lives in there, give them some money, whatever, and say, hey, take us in. This time we were like, fuck it, we're just going in. And so we just walked in and started talking to people. And everybody in there was decent people. Bedford is past Euless, yeah. Yep, sure is. Sure is. This right here is Woodward and 35. This is where I worked my way out of homelessness. Right in those trees.
I used to live in an apartment over there.
Today?
I think I said this before in your show that when I lived in the Riverside neighborhood, I used to literally go skate at the Mabel Davis skate park and have a bunch of happy memories of that place. And what it has turned into now is a crime.
Well, I did a video there yesterday too. It was the very first video I posted yesterday. And it was back off in on the west side or the east side of Mabel Davis. You got to really walk off into the woods to find it.
See you, Charlie.
Guys, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like eventually you would get to the back of the Oltorf area, but it's like swampland almost. Like they can't really build there because all the drain water.
Wires arcing. Black Mountain Drive. You want to plug in? There's a one right there. Used to stay at Onion Creek. Hey, were you in that neighborhood that down in Onion Creek where they? I don't think that works actually.
Oh,
actually plug into that.
Well,
were you in that there's a subdivision down there that got flooded out, and the city bought all the houses out and turned it into like a park greenbelt. I love driving out through there. It's like driving through a dystopian movie, because you could still see where the driveways, everything was at, but there's no houses there anymore.
But that's the area where after that big storm and flood hit, that a body popped up, and they had to go to the coroner and do the ID and everything. And they think he had died 4 years ago out there, but he was just so far out in the sticks that no one ever found him.
Yeah. There's a lot of that still in the homeless community. There is a lot of rumors about. Okay, well, they say that there's bodies buried in the green belts.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all.
I've never.
I thought you were gonna say like an organized thing, like a graveyard. Oh yeah, just
no. They all say that for sure there's bodies buried in the ground, and I believe it. I mean, people die all the time in the homeless community. They don't want to bring the cops out there, so they will just go put them in the ground. I was in apartments there, but not in that neighborhood. Were you down there when that flood happens? Oh shoot, when was that? 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. That was at about the same time that Wimberley got flooded out too.
Yep.
A lot of properties in Wimberley was wiped out from that.
Well, it like messed up the train tracks, didn't it? Like the soil washed out?
It messed up a bunch. It was one of the worst floods. See that?
Yes, I do.
One of the worst floods in quite some time. I don't think that's a homeless guy. Well, maybe it is. He's gonna get ran over doing that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Go ahead. The complainant just called me back. She's informing me that the victim's been located.
Gonna get run over.
Apparently, she's still being held against her will. Do you know where that street is? It's off of Stasny, apparently.
Off of Stasny.
Yeah.
Hey, you can just make the left up here.
I'm gonna go right down.
It's right here. Show me 76 to that location. The brother hung up with the complainant out of fear. This is what the daughter is telling me.
We're gonna go this way and hit Stasny at 35. Who knows? Stasny goes all the way across the city. It could be anywhere though.
It turns into Montopolis.
275.
Yeah, but I mean it goes literally from like Westgate all the way.
Oh yeah, yes,
out.
yes, that way, yes.
Pretty much crosses the whole city almost. 2014. That sounds about right, Chris. Yeah, it sounds about right. It was quite a. It was. Yeah, it was many years ago. I remember it though. So when I moved here, I don't know if y'all remember this, but when the Bastrop State Park burned in 2011, I had just moved here when that happened. When that fire happened out there that burnt the whole state park.
I remember it messed up the air. Like it was foggy and hazy for a while.
Oh man, it was a horrible fire. I've got a T-shirt about it. About that. I don't know where I bought that T-shirt from, but anyway, it's called the 2011 Bastrop Fire Complex is what it says. It was a bad fire, man.
That was a hot summer. I specifically remember that was one of the last times I was jogging during the day of like a no.
Well, if I remember right, somebody set that on fire with a campfire. And obviously the conditions were just right for it to get out of control, but it really got out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, I mean, do you remember seeing, like, I would drive out that way, and, I mean, it looked like going down 71 out in that area, seeing the flames on, because at one point it was on both sides of the highway. It looked like you were driving into hell. What do y'all think of the new incoming city manager? Oh,
Not much.
Let me tell you something about the new incoming city manager. TC is his name, right? This guy, look, the exact reasons that this man was forced to leave Dallas are the exact things that we have issues with right now in this city. He caused the issues in Dallas that we're dealing with right now, and that's why he was forced out. So you tell me why the hell they hired this guy, knowing that he caused the issues that we are dealing with that we're going to have to try to fix. It's not going to end well. It is not going to end well. This guy, mark my words right now. I wish him the best, but I just don't. What a stupid move, man, from our city council.
How much more proof do we need that this is some kind of cult / conspiracy / hidden agenda of they are putting their personal beliefs before everything else because they know everything?
I don't know.
It's going to work this time. It literally did not work, 6 months ago? But it'll work here.
Democrats, Republicans, both are not going to like the guy.
This place is off the hook.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. Sorry.
Hopefully he learned. Yeah, that's one of the things with somebody in his position. They think. I hope he learned. All right, you know what? I'll just shut up with my dog in him. The guy. I mean, look. It's very possible that he could do a bang-up job, and I really, for the sake of the city, hope he does. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it working out that well. Just don't think it's going to work out that well. There's the commercial.
A baffling move. It is really a bizarre move.
Commercial vehicle enforcement. Why do folks keep voting? Well, voting like, I don't know, at a certain point, I mean, look, we've been going through this for years and things are just getting worse. So at a certain point, something's going to have to change. I mean, at a certain point, the people that are voting for this I think they're going to have to feel the pain themselves personally before they vote any different. And most of the people, they're not feeling the pain. They're not the ones living on the street. They're not the ones that are poor, that are facing eviction monthly. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of like the people voting for Jose Garza. This guy, they're going to have to feel the pain of what he's doing and his lack of prosecution before they do anything. Austin voters need to take a test before they vote. Yeah, you're right. They do. And you're right, John. Voter turnout is really, really low here. I mean, look at the primary, with Jose Garza and what was his name, Jeremy Silvestri. Mm-hmm. Look, the turnout was embarrassingly low. And everybody is talking about how, he won that in a landslide. He won it in a landslide when only like 8% of voters actually voted.
And they still had to use every slimy trick in the book against him. The whole the secret cabal of Westlake millionaires funding Jeremy's campaign, and it's like you said, this was maybe 50,000 total votes in a city of 2 million people. It's very sad.
Yeah, Chris, you're right. You're absolutely right. We're gonna have a meetup here pretty soon, a Dash meetup. Most of my views, I know Chris, John, you guys are on YouTube, but like 90% of the views that I have come from X. Like, I don't know how many people's watching on X right now, but I'm sure it's considerable.
Hey.
But anyway, we're gonna have a meetup here in Austin. It wasn't really my idea, but I think it's a great idea. I'm rambling. Hang on, I'm trying to look at something. But we're gonna have a meetup for what do you call it? Like-minded people.
We're gonna meet at the High Octane Game Room. I'm kidding.
No, we're gonna actually do it. There's a boot company down on South First that's where we're gonna do it. It's a lot of freaking water.
Yeah, they need to fix that drain whenever.
So like right now on X we have 259 people watching. Yeah, Chris, you'll like X. You know, if you
400 East Allen.
you gotta look. I'll tell you this much about X. if you can keep your anxiety low when you're starting to read some of the crazy shit people are saying.
Yeah, it's the Wild West in that regard.
They want two types of people, rich and homeless. Yeah, they do. Segregation, keep us all separate and fighting each other. That's the name of the game. It's just like with race. You know, keeping people hating each other because of race. I have a interracial family. My wife is from Mexico. My kids are half Hispanic and half white. And but people still say that I'm racist because of what I do on here, and it's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
And my wife is literally she was illegal at one point, but her and her mom both, they were. No, she wasn't. Her mom. Maybe it was her mom that was. Anyway, her mom's got a green card now though.
We can hear his girlfriend yelling in the background. We're trying to get a better location.
Everybody's racist. That's the thing. Especially if you're white. I should better shut up. I forgot about what I said a while ago about YouTube. That's it. That is a strikeable offense.
Mentioning anything, strike one.
I'm on strike 2. If I get one more strike, I'm out.
Stand by, I'll find out.
One more strike. I bet this cop thinks we're following him. John says they say you're racist not because they actually believe you are, but because they know that calling you that sounds like. Yeah, you're right. It does. Look, I asked my wife, how much racism have you faced in this country? Have you ever, like, blatant racism? And she says none. And so, and one of my good friends, his name is John Taylor. He's in Mississippi. In a previous life, before I did this for a living, I was an engineer, and he worked with me. He says the same thing, that just blatant outright racism, not much. I mean, I know racism exists, but if you listen to the news, you would think the KKK is behind every bush. And I just don't think that's true. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. But I think a lot of the racist stuff that's happening today, the crying racism all the time, it's, from the media, it's narrative control, it's keeping people fighting each other and keeping people afraid, and it's a way to get votes. And politicians use it as a way to get votes. They scream that the other side is racist and they're gonna, they're trying to kill you. You better vote for us if you don't want it to happen. Oh shit, yeah. Well, I don't want to die, so I better vote for them then. And most people that don't pay attention to what's really happening in the world today, they believe it because the news told them.
Does anyone remember Jeff Ward, who used to be on 590 AM? Now he's on 102.7.
I don't.
Local talk show legend. He was a punter. He was a punter for UT and then for the Houston Oilers, then became a talk show guy. And he said something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. He said, no one has ever voted for anything. Everyone always votes against stuff they hate. Now, I think that's 100% true.
Oh, yeah.
No one likes Joe Biden. They hate you-know-who, for example.
There's the guy, Todd Jeffries, that's here on the radio now.
Good guy. I was like
friend of
listening to
mine
him for years.
Yeah, he's a very cool guy, and I'll listen to them when I get a chance to, and call in when I get a chance to. Not as much anymore, but the guy's got the perfect radio voice, man. I wish I had. I want to have the Todd Jeffries voice.
They used to do the funniest segment that I wish would come back. Everyone vote November for the return of Trump's tweets. That they would play a game where they would read a tweet and your caller X, and if you guess correctly, if it's true or false, you get the gift certificate to Matt's El Rancho, and they do it every day at 8:30. And one day they read the tweet and said, "You motherfuckers, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna bomb the shit out of you." And the lady goes, "False." And, no, that's a true tweet. He said that to Iran.
Yeah, mean tweets. I wasn't the biggest fan of Trump, but anything's better than what we have now.
That's why I believe the Jeff Ward thing. It's like, I just despise the current system and am highly amused by Trump's antics.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that turned me off about him. It's not his policies or what he was doing. It was like the nastiness.
Yep.
It kind of got to me after a while. And I'd vote for him again too. But I'm just saying, like, that.
No, as they say, he could take it down a notch. Because he digs in on people.
He's a very funny guy, though. He's a troll, and I love it. Like, when he called that press conference, wanting to talk, he was calling a press conference about something, but when all the press got, they were doing the press conference, and then he brought up all of the old military guys and gave them awards.
Oh, yeah,
and he knew that the press wouldn't cover. It's so great, like, that. The trolling is beautiful. But
and his speeches are epic. His speeches are as fiery as, like, Chris Rock stand-up specials.
You ever been to a Trump rally?
Not in person, but I frequently watch them on YouTube every chance I get.
I've been to one, and let me tell you, the energy at those things, it's like a rock concert.
It's like Kiss is playing.
It's incredible. The energy at his rallies are, like, dialed up to 10. And when he speaks, he doesn't just speak for an hour. The man goes for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Like, he goes forever. And, he's an old guy. And to be old, he's got stamina, man. The guy has stamina.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I saw something in the distance. It used to be my hair salon back when I would get my hair colored and I had my cool guy stuff. And now it's that happy ending salon spa over there. Oh, no. It became one of those places.
Yeah, Trump is. Oh no, he is. Yeah, he is a comedian. The guy is funny as shit. He's
very funny.
And
why do he host Saturday Night Live twice if everyone hates him so much?
He just, the fact that he can call, he gives all of these politicians names, and they are the funniest names, and he just, I don't know. I highly doubt we'll see a presidential debate this year. I just don't think. Look, Biden he is incredibly old, and it's obvious to the left and the right, not only to the right but to the left, that he is in severe mental decline. I don't think he could go toe to toe with Trump.
He can't go toe to toe with gravity. He's losing that battle. It's going to get real sad in the next 6 months.
Well, man, something tells me I just can't see him running. I don't see him making it through the election. I think that they're going to replace him.
All the stars are lined up for them to pull some shenanigans at the convention this summer. They got to go reality TV. They got to go WWE with it. They're at the last minute and drop the curtain, and here comes Michelle, or here comes Gavin.
Michelle won't do it. Gavin hasn't. See, that's the thing. They don't have anybody that could actually draw out the vote. They don't have anybody that's popular. Gavin Newsom, no. And not only is it a no for him, but he never talks about it. He's not even, in the news much. Michelle Obama has already said blatantly that, like, that's not in the cards. Like, that she wants nothing to do with it. So I don't know. I don't know who. If they do replace him with somebody, it's hard for me to see exactly who they're going to replace him with, because there is nobody. There is no one with name recognition on that level that could go toe to toe with Trump and win. Who's it going to be? Kamala Harris? Oh, come on.
Kamala, it is really just dawning on me how much of a embarrassment Kamala Harris is and how rough history is going to be on her when it's all said and done. Oh, man.
Yeah, Chris, they will pull him. I just can't see them. I can't see him going all the way. I mean, in the last year, the man has declined. His mental capacity has declined so much just in the last year. He is not the same man today that he was when he took office. And, it's just, I don't know. And you know what? For the sake of the country, wow, because let's say he does beat Trump. Come on. The man cannot be.
People who've watched every episode of The Sopranos 15 times each, okay? Does Biden's situation not remind you of Uncle Junior, where he is in title alone the president / the boss of the family, and he doesn't have any real power, and he's not involved in policy, and he's not in the loop on anything, but he is not going to give up the title and the status and the parking space and all that stuff.
That's what people are not understanding. He is the president. Everybody wants him to step aside. Even if, let's say, the Democratic Party came to him and said step aside, they can't make him step aside. That's just the thing. And and John says the Dems have the ballot harvesting locked down. You're right, they do. But here's the thing. The Republicans have their own ballot harvesting operation going right now, too. And this is not COVID anymore. They don't have, there's not anything to scare people to stay home and vote by mail. And that's how the Democrats won in 2020.
Yep.
If it was, and I'm not saying if it was legit or not, but if it was, they won because they had people going to apartment saying, sign here. And they did it. And that's how they did it. That's how they won. And it's not the same atmosphere as it was in 2020. COVID is not here anymore. Not most Democrats are not even scared to stay home this time. And I just don't see it going the way that it did in 2020.
Let's put this in perspective. 2020 was the height of Beto's popularity. Remember when everyone had a Beto bumper sticker? When was the last time you seen a Beto yard sign? Yeah, it's a different world now. It's a different situation, circumstance. It wouldn't work again. I don't think.
Yeah, Chris, you're right. It is. It's sad, and it's elder abuse. The poor man. I feel bad for him. He's an old man, and it's not his fault that he is in severe mental decline. He's just an old man, and it's just it should. I don't know what's happening to him. Should be illegal. Hell, it may be, but he's the president, so who's going to say that?
That's what I'm saying. Again, kind of like that movie Dave. There's no conspiracy. I'm not saying there's a body double or anything like that, but I'm saying that. He enjoys the perks of being president far too much to give this up. Because even when he was a senator, wasn't he taking government airplanes?
Yeah.
For 30-minute flights?
The other thing that's going to change, most people, even your moderate Democrats, are seeing the two-tiered justice system.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I think, there's so much working against them at this point. The two-tiered justice system should scare the shit out of everybody. Look at what they're doing to Trump right now. Look at what the trial.
They did to Alex Jones.
The trial that Alex Jones. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. But the trial that Trump's involved in New York right now. Everybody knows that is not legitimate, but they're doing it anyway because he's Trump. It's I don't know, man. Yeah, Alex Jones. They went after Alex Jones, and that I don't know if y'all saw that story that came out where that guy admitted to an undercover journalist that it was the FBI and the CIA that went after Alex Jones that caused all that shit to happen. But that man, I'm telling you, he is something else, and
not always for the best.
When you talk to him, he very much believes what he's saying, and he's very much committed. The guy is, no matter what they're throwing at him, he just keeps going. And all the guys out there, Harrison, Owen, they're good people, man. And I like every one of them. And yeah, Alex Jones gets carried away, but he's very much the real deal. And I hear a lot of people saying that it's all an act. He doesn't believe this stuff. And it's like, no, he does. Like, hands down, like, the guy is very passionate. And most people that talk shit about him, they couldn't withstand 10% of the pressure that's been put on him. And it's just like with Trump. The guy, no matter what they do to him, he just keeps plugging away. Look, here's another guy with a
super
hot
ripped
body and little tight shorts and no shirt.
Meanwhile, I just ordered extra donuts on my pizza, put some bacon on the side.
I'm going to have to get on steroids, I think.
Yeah. But what I was saying about Alex Jones and Trump is they both received these crazy $400 million verdicts that are just completely unjustified.
Yeah.
You know, it's the punishment doesn't fit the crime, and it's, don't you guys see what's going on?
Oh. Politics are going to politic. And I hate it. When I started doing this here in this city a couple of years ago, I got I wasn't a huge political, I didn't follow politics a whole lot, and I really didn't understand just how shitty politicians can be. But I'm gonna tell you right now, they are the shittiest bunch of people you'll ever meet. Hey, at least AJ is a man of, yeah, he does, and he's like I said, people think that it's an act for money, it's an act just for a show, and it's not. The man legitimately believes in what he's doing, and you know what? Look, I mean, he's right. You know, it is. You know, the what do they call it? The New World Order, or whatever they call it, the deep state. Whatever happens, the other side won't affect the results of the election. That's crazy to think about. Yeah, you're right.
Oh no.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen in November. No matter who wins the election, one side's not going to believe it. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to accept the results of this election, and that is there's only one direction that goes, and that's civil war. And what does that say? Ivan Garth Johnson, 19. Oh, that's an old one. Don't drink and drive. You might kill someone's kid. That's sad, man.
Yeah. It's cool they came out and did that.
Y'all see that? It says, fair sailing tall boy, Ivan Garth Johnson, not forgotten, 1971 to 89. Don't drink and drive, you might kill someone's kid. Sad. Yeah, Chris, you're right. You can't avoid politics in Austin, especially when you work in this space. When you work in media and you start getting a large following in the city, the politicians come to you, especially when you start getting a lot of publicity. But the minute that publicity starts dying off, well, guess what? They don't need you anymore, and you're no longer their friend. It's actually kind of shitty. Very, very shitty. But it's true, and it's the way it is. And all politicians, in my opinion, are snakes. I don't know of one. You know what? I take it back. Mackenzie Kelly is a decent person, and I like her a lot. Every time I ask her a question or send her a message, she answers. And she hasn't. I don't really consider Mackenzie a politician either, though. So. Yeah, Chris, that's a nice that bridge. I've never read that sign. That sign's been there for a while. I've passed it, but I've never actually read it.
No, to me, a politician, it's almost like a lifestyle. Like, okay, so pick your favorite episode of like Behind the Music by VH1. You know why all those bands never break up and they just play county fairs and casinos for the rest of their lives? Because they like the lifestyle. And that's what these politicians are like. They like going to the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. They like going to the soccer games. They like going to the steakhouse. They like when Hakeem Olajuwon comes to the Capitol and signs autographs. They like all the toys and the games. But she's actually here to get stuff done.
Yeah, Chris, when people show you who they are, you got to believe them. And that's what's sad. A lot of people. So one thing that I've learned doing this in this city is a lot of people come around, a lot of people want to talk, a lot of people want this, a lot of people want that, but they're not showing you exactly who they are. You know, it's like I get asked all the time, like, how do I get started doing what you're doing? Because look, I'm doing well for what, you know, for the place that I started at, and you know, I'm not an influencer, a media personality. Like, it's never been me, but somehow I've been able to scrape something out of it. And so people come to me and say, hey, how can I do that? You know, you were just an engineer, a normal guy that got to do this. And what people don't see is during the week, like I start working at 7 in the morning and I don't stop until night, and it's like 7 days a week. It's incredibly hard, and most people start putting out videos, they get no views, and they stop after a while. They get frustrated, and that happens. You're not going to get views in the beginning. You've got to keep pumping out the videos, and if you keep pumping the videos out, eventually you'll start getting, it'll start catching on. Like right now on YouTube, I get very little views, and I stopped focusing on YouTube last year when they demonetized me and called us a dangerous organization. I was like, well, screw y'all. But now I'm starting to focus more on YouTube again, and we'll see how it works. But X, without X and my presence there, I would have never made it. I mean, X and Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is the absolute only reason that I've made it this far.
I have most of my internet traffic and fans and all those kind of things. All the people who support me are on Twitter. And to me, it's still Twitter. I'll call it X-Twitter because it used to be Twitter. But I have probably 4 times as many followers on Twitter than I do on Instagram, because I have a pretty healthy Instagram page too, but it's like professional.
All right, Chris.
Here's me as a professional comedian and being a nice guy, where Twitter is such a freak show and circus fire of the stuff.
So here's what's odd. I'm 40 years old, right? I'm not a spring chicken, and I'm not a big social media person, but I was never on TikTok, and I wouldn't install TikTok on my phone if I had to, because of the Chinese Communist Party. Anyway, long story short, everybody's like, Jamie, you need to be putting your videos on TikTok. I'm like, and I fought it, and I fought it, and I fought it, and I fought it. Then I was finally made an account, started uploading videos, and I'm averaging like anywhere between 400,000 to 1.5 million views per video now. It blows my mind the amount of traffic. Oh yeah, it's crazy. And it's the same videos I put on X. It's the same videos I put on Facebook, and they just blow the hell up over there. And I don't know why. Now here's what I think. I was live streaming on TikTok too. Like I'm doing right here. Was live streaming from basically, I use Restream to rebroadcast to all the other platforms, and I mentioned the word HITLER, right? I mentioned the word. Just
someone who has a birthday today.
I said the name, and they banned me from going live on TikTok because I said that name. Hate speech, Jamie. You're a hate speecher.
It's a ridiculous thing.
And because I just recently gotten monetized over on TikTok, and I messaged them, I'm like, what the F? Like, come on, man, that wasn't hate speech. And they were like, you got to put in the what's it called? The appeal. Put in appeal, we'll look at it. I literally put the appeal in, and within about 30 seconds, it was denied. How does your guys think of the comedy scene? You want to take that? That's for you. John?
I am the guest. I'm Brian Cook. Kind of, it's very similar to Jamie of like, how do you do this? I started going to open mics around town and started writing a whole bunch of new stuff, and I'm having a good year this year, and come see me on April 30th at the Flamingo Cantina. In the meantime, what do I think of the comedy scene in Austin? Have I been on Kill Tony? Okay, I'm not going to start going on Kill Tony, and I might contradict myself this week. I completely reserve the right to be a hypocrite, but Kill Tony, I'm aiming for September, October, back to school time. I want this summer to season up a little more. And part of the thing with me and Kill Tony is I have not been in the comedy mothership as a comedy club. I saw the last time I was in that building was the Draft House. I saw Halloween in there a few years back, but I saw Megadeth in there when it was the Ritz. So I don't want to even go in that building until I'm a performer there. Like, I don't want to go in as a fan. I don't want to go see a comedian. The first time I ever walk in there is as a performer. That's my goal. What do I think of the scene? I'm coming from the music scene in Austin, and so I'm not one of these like comedy nerd kids that quoted Saturday Night Live on Monday morning at school and watched the Tonight Show every night. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a big passion in life. So I see it as I'd call it the post-pandemic comedians. That's part of the wave I'm from. I really didn't do this before the lockdowns. And this isn't my life's dream or anything, but all the stars lined up to where I had the confidence to get up and do it. People like it. I took it seriously and committed to it. Kind of like Jamie did with the videos, and now it's paying off. And I see a lot of people doing the same thing. And you really have to credit Joe Rogan for a lot of this. It was kind of going before he moved here, but the whole, it's changing us from a music city to a comedy city. It just is. We can sing the blues about, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Willie Nelson and all the old happy memories, but I'd rather see this thing, Austin, keep evolving and keep churning out popular stuff, and even if it changes genre or format or style or whatever, it's still coming out of here,
I'm not going to be happy until Bill Asher follows me.
I got a couple like that.
That's been my goal and I don't know why he doesn't follow me either, unless it's because, and I think the main reason is because a lot of people see me as a radical because of my affiliation with people like InfoWars and stuff like that. But Bill Asher, Alshire, I don't even know how you say his name, but he is a very respected guy here in Austin, and I will not be satisfied. Now, Adam Lowy was my other white whale, and he followed me a while, but he actually supports us monetarily, which is very nice of him. Nice, good luck. I watch it show religiously every Monday.
It's a pretty cool show. It's a cool format. Tony Hinchcliffe told the greatest joke, because that's another thing. That show started in L.A. and moved here during the pandemic. And he said when they were out in L.A., they offered to just basically sell the show to Comedy Central, to be a once-a-week Comedy Central show. And thank the Lord that Comedy Central turned them down.
Yep.
Because now they have 1 million viewers a week.
Our rain chances may be done.
Yeah, that might be it for the old rain.
Let's see. I'll give y'all a look here at... I'll give y'all a look at the rain at the moment. So our rain may be over for the evening. I mean, we have that, what do they call it? They call that the Edwards
stream.
Plateau. There's a bubble. Everybody says there's a bubble over Austin.
Yep.
And look at this. It's out to the east,
and
it's
aquifer.
to the west. And it's right. Well, no, I mean, they call it the Edwards Plateau bubble, or I forget what they call it, but it really looks like there's one if you look at the radar right now.
Radar. Yeah, that's why that stuff always goes around. And I was living in upstate New York at the time. The story I heard about Katrina is all the nastiness kind of ended in Bastrop. Like, it petered out in this direction right before it hit Austin, where Houston got a good shellacking and New Orleans just got vaporized.
That was way before my Austin time. I was still drunk and having fun as a young man.
If anyone watches the episode where Mike Judge is the guest on Joe Rogan, he tells the story of, because Mike Judge films all his stuff here in Austin, and they filmed Idiocracy basically while Katrina was hitting Austin. The movie's supposed to be set in a drought, and it's supposed to have this like Mad Max feel to it. It's like it was the wettest summer Austin ever had.
Hey, this guy says, I never realized how profitable it can be. I recently started trading. Oh shit.
There's a PO in April, but it's not involved me.
Man, the bots on X kill me. And when they just did a where they were kind of Xing out a lot of the bots, and I lost like 100 followers at that point. But the porn bots have changed tactics. Now they don't post pictures. They just say, like PUSSY in the bio. And it's like every time I post something, it's immediate. The first 3 or 4 replies is going to be porn bots. Every single time.
Go ahead.
And sometimes it makes me mad because if I'm talking about something serious and they're talking about, hey, what's in the bio, I really get upset with them. But what are you going to do about it?
Well, a similar kind of thing happens on Instagram with music. Like the Mohawk here in Austin, great music venue. There's a band I like, sang with Sugar Bog. They're playing there tomorrow night. So there's the inevitable things that come to the show tomorrow night. Instead of nudes in bio, all the bots say, hey, I have 3 tickets, message me. I have 2 tickets, message me,
Y'all remember the guy that ran over all those people outside of Mohawk?
I was there the night before that happened. At the end of that same intersection.
How many people was killed? Wasn't it like
I
3
want
or
to
4?
say, no, I thought it was like 10, 12 killed and like 40 injured.
You know, people don't talk about that anymore.
Hey, I'm one of them. It's scary. The whole circumstances around it were really creepy. In a lot of ways, it was one of those nails in the coffin of old Austin, of like, getting drunk in the middle of the intersection all night anymore probably ain't gonna fly around here because we got too many yahoos like this.
And that, I mean, of course, they shut down 6th Street all the time, so you can't even get down there. But do you guys listening, do y'all remember the Mohawk incident where the guy drove through the crowd and literally like mowed down a ton of people?
Hundreds of people.
He hit. I mean, whatever happened to that guy?
Death penalty. That's one of the rare times Travis County gave out the death penalty. That was a heartbreaking night in Austin, Texas, in a place that knows misery. You know.
Yeah, it was a bad night. What year was that?
2013.
That's right, it was 2013.
Like I said, it was right there where Headhunters used to be. And I was at that intersection the night before because it was in the middle of South by. And this guy was at a rap concert, I believe at 1808, but somewhere on like East 7th, East 8th. He was at a club and was so drunk he came down the wrong way, the one-way street. And that's why he went into the crowd, is because everyone turns left, he goes right. It was one of those situations.
Wait, what wasn't the cops chasing him?
Yes. He crossed under the highway and went 3 blocks down and stopped, finally got stopped in front of Headhunters.
But I mean, weren't they chasing him when he hit all those people?
They were chasing him before he got in his car.
Guys.
He had caused a ruckus over there at that rap concert. It was one of those things that he was so drunk, he got kicked out. When the security came to got him, he fought the security guards.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
And if the dude hadn't been drinking, that probably none of that would have happened.
If he, you know,
it reminds me of that guy up in Wisconsin, that Daryl Brooks, that drove through the Christmas parade, killed all those people. I watched that trial, and I'm not an attorney. I don't know a whole lot about legal stuff, but I watched that trial where he represented himself. That mother effer made me so mad watching the way he treated the judge, and then his victims. The victims that he ran over would be on the stand, and he got to question them, and he was so disrespectful to those people. And one of the guys was like, you traumatized us then, and you're traumatizing us now. How is this allowed? And the judge is like, sir. And, the judge had to, it's just, man, sometimes our legal system, some of these people don't need to be put in the legal system. They should be taken to like military court or something, where they can really just be railroaded and bent over the barrel. It's crazy, man. Hey, Joe.
They have a little healthy taste of Sharia law sometimes.
Yeah, man, bury them up until their shoulders and let's stone them.
Get some Afghanistan justice. Trust me, you don't want Afghanistan justice. That's like something out of the Flintstones.
One of the guys that works with us and goes to the camps with me, he was in Afghanistan, and he's hard of hearing because of it too. And he's told some pretty crazy stories about stuff that's happened over there. Crazy stories.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say that. I bet what happened is like, I knew somebody who has like a 50% hearing loss in one ear. Like, it's a dramatic, bad injury, because he was 10 feet away from a neighbor's tank when it fired the main cannon. He was gonna boom right next to his freaking head.
He was always a good son on how to get. What was interesting?
CRU lounge for crew lounge. Edward 30, I believe they think that they're wanting us to exact address.
Security at this moment, 6 seconds of
What happened?
I was reading about Jose Garza being at that event for UT today.
See, what I say, these people are out for events and red carpet stuff. That's what they care about.
Read that. Can't read it out loud, but Ernie. What the? This is why I love Twitter.
I know.
Hang on, Air One's up. Let's see where he's at. Wait, how is Air One up in this weather? Nope, Air One's not up. They're chasing another guy, though. Yeah, no, they won't be putting a helicopter up in this weather.
If it was the Army and Blackhawks, they can fly in this no problem, but the city might be a different story.
Shoot, even when they have Starflight, the medical helicopters, even when it's a little bit cloudy or foggy outside, they won't fly.
Where do they live?
I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to either.
Looks like it's just a neighbor. 2103.
This kind of stuff's real bad for pilots. Like if they would have to make it a landing around here, all the above ground utilities.
I didn't hear anything at 2101. I didn't see anything. It's dark.
Unlike in the woodlands where they have below ground utilities. But there's a reason you're paying those property taxes. It's for the below ground utilities.
K9. We're going to drive up to Runberg.
Always. It is always popping off on Runberg.
Whoa, whoa.
Even Christmas morning. They never take a day off.
That's my son.
Cool. Thank you for listening.
On my other account.
10-9?
My other channel.
The area is clear. We don't see any flights or disturbances. We're going to code for it.
Yeah, that's a wild
Yeah, he
complex.
just said they couldn't fly. The Air One pilot. They're like, no, we can't do it.
Clear.
Any other go-to?
Man, I am give out. You know, I can count the number of times on two hands how many times I've driven over this.
Oh, I try to hit this as much as possible when I'm behind the wheel.
I just really never have a reason to, you know, to go. Usually I'll be up there going that way.
Like, that's where the bus goes, because I go to the transit center, and so like I go to this intersection every day. Oh man!
You know, when I was homeless in this city, that's how I learned the streets of this city is riding a bus. When you're homeless, you ain't got much to do but ride the bus around the city.
Just go run over the wrong right.
Well, believe it or not, it's actually my advice for new arrivals, and it's a cheap form of entertainment if you're between paychecks. Is just get on one of the buses, like actually get a pass and be a responsible citizen. Don't be one of our friends. And just ride the entire route somewhere and go see this city. It is a fascinating place. There's more to it than just 6th Street.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it goes from the transit center where we just passed up to Lakeline Mall, up there and back, up 183, and it's a cool ride. And like, there's a whole nother part of town that I bet none of y'all go to on a regular basis.
John, yes, there are some upcoming projects. So one thing that we're working on, we're actually involved in a TV show over the Lady Bird. It's not just about the Lady Bird Lake deaths, it's about the drowning production company out here that's based in Austin. I can't talk about what network, but we'll be talking about it soon. Other than that, man, just the same old stuff, man. Just homelessness and public safety. We're retooling our operations because we're losing access to the radio tomorrow, Monday. So I'm having to regroup and figure it out. I've got a service I just signed. So I also work for Citizen. I provide them video, and they hook me up with a service that basically I get a text message when something's happening in the city, and not just everything, but serious things that are happening in the city. A lot of house fires, deaths, car wrecks where people have gotten hurt, rescue task forces, things like that. But the TV show is the biggest thing coming up. 100%.
Welcome to Runberg, people. That is a great restaurant, by the way, the Guadalajara.
Oh, man.
Firearms run behind the building, 16 into the woods. 3 black belts and 1 Hispanic. Not really matching.
Man, I wish I knew where that was at.
There's a high likelihood it might be around here.
I was at a last night shots fired call in your neighborhood.
So far on Edward?
Seriously.
I know. I might have. Was it like? Cause I went to bed early last night. I had all my shows in the middle of the week this week and had Friday off. But was it before or after 10 o'clock?
Before.
I think I might have heard those. I think I might.
That was the third one since the last time you've ridden with me. Seriously. And on Hansford.
Oh, I definitely heard them. Okay, it's Saturday today. It was Wednesday night. If you went to one on Wednesday night, I 100% heard those gunshots.
I don't think I was out Wednesday night. Oh, man. Wait, was I out Wednesday night? I'm trying not to go out much during the week anymore, but that's getting harder.
466, 28's current negative. Insurance is unconfirmed to Moses Ariste and
We've been
409.
live for now 2 hours. Dang, it's already been 2 hours?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Run, burn, fly. Yeah, that homeless camp has been gone for a bit. They're still in the back, though, where the school's at.
That's the one I was giving you all the updates on. By the way, another sponsor. Were they Nomadic? That's how you say it? Hey, that's a cool app. Beta test available now.
We're not a sponsor. We're partner. They use my data, and I'm
that's coming like 30 minutes
doing this together.
But that intersection, that fence back there, that's why I was giving you all the updates. And it looks like there's still stuff on the other side of the fence, and like they won't let them get to it.
I was in there about 2 weeks ago looking around. Oh man, tacos.
Oh,
the pastor.
that place ain't as good as it used to be. The hotter joint is if we went straight, but these not only are these places taste good, I realized long ago that the health inspector is up their backside so much, you're gonna get sick at Jack in the Box before one of these places.
There used to be one over here in this parking lot called Matamoros.
I think they actually have a brick and mortar restaurant now.
Actually, it's still there.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was homeless, I would come up here 2 or 3 times a week and stay in that Motel 6 right there. And I would get tacos from Matamoros. Some of the best tacos in the city, right there, Matamoros. Oh, it's so good.
1319.
I'll still bring my wife down here on occasion to get tacos.
Okay, viewers at home, and when we make this turn here and get straightened up on the road, these series of motels on your right side of the screen are interesting. Interesting stuff happens here at night.
Yeah, I'd stay in that budget inn too. It's scary.
Yep.
You know Emmy's here.
Scary is an appropriate word.
It's scary.
There is you're gonna hear some weird noises through the walls. There's gonna be some people walking around in the parking lot. The Lux game room. There's another game. Dude, there's like 4 game rooms between here and the red light. That's where, hey, if y'all go to season 2 of the TV show, you know, a future season should be about the game rooms once we solve the Ladybird Lake murders.
Ladybird Lake. All right, so
hey,
we're gonna end the stream tonight a little early. What's up?
Is that camp on y'all's radar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a guy that works for a satellite company, Telesat or something like that. Anyway, their satellites make 2 passes over the city a day, or is it 2 passes? Anyway, they make passes over the city, and he helps with real time. They use that satellite, and he can see the camps, and so we get a lot of good information from him. I just can't say the company, or I can't say his name, or he would probably get in trouble. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. If anything happens between now and the time I get home that needs to be covered, we'll go back live.